Sir, exit poll. So huge gap up in the market, so near about 700 points in Nifty, and many stocks based on our scanner and Google Sheet and an advanced option strategy. Lot of stocks which moves, but the premium is very higher side. So if you are trying to buy a call option or even a put option, so we have to pay higher margin because of the expectation on the market is very high. So that's why we have to pay higher margin, and the IV also be very high. Some people are asking more than 150 stocks higher IV side. So better to avoid such a kind of conditions, and even if you are buying a hedging strategies also, even the stock moves what we have expected, there is a chances of losses also, because of if the IV drops after this result or after the expectation is over, the IV drops means the premium will reduce its value. So because huge premium, and we are suggesting some stocks based on our analysis, and some of the stocks like REC, PFC. So these are all the 15 stocks for the month. But in monthly positional, some of the stock which given you some opportunity like GAIL, Bank of Baroda, SBIN, and PFC, REC, and Power Grid. These are all on our list. So that means we have selected these stocks before this month start. But even that was giving you some opportunity. But in the case of PFC 490, almost 67 is our entry point. So let me go for an PFC 690 call option, sorry, PFC 490 call option, right? So in this case, if I'm just looking for an 490 call option, our entry point for this is somewhere around 67.7. So let me add a 67.7 based on the positional strategy concept, 67.7. So this is what our entry point, where the entry got triggered near about 10:30. So this is a valid entry, but it not triggers our entry point, and this is the day one for the month of June, and this is a valid entry which triggers. But so normally, if you are looking for a PFC, then maybe the premium would be near about 30 rupees, 35 rupees only. But due to huge expectation or the huge IV, that particular stock entry point is somewhere around 67.7. So let me check the lot size of this. 3875 is the lot size. If I'm just checking for this, and what would be the margin required for the trade? So 67.7, 3875 is the lot size, almost 2,62,000 to buying a premium. That is not a good advisable. So normally a premium may be around 40 to 70,000, even you are trying for an in the money options. But in this case, it is near about 2,62,000 premium. That is not good for buying options, that much of premium to buy the things. But some of the trades which generate you some result, but to make that much of investment to get that kind of result is not a good one. Okay, some of the stocks like GAIL, which trigger 21.7, the strike price 205. So let me check 205 because of the huge expectation in the market. So 21.7 is our entry point. So let me mark that 21.7, and where exactly that entry point is triggered, at what time. 21.7 is our breakout point. So that got be triggered here at this 10:30 Monday. This is also be a valid breakout, and it went higher, and the lot size is 4,500. So near about 80,000 is the premium, near about 90,000, or nearby 1 lakh, almost 20. So near about 90,000 to 1 lakh margin. So normally the stock is generating the entry points maybe around 13, 14, but due to that volatility increases, so it is going to generate you the huge premium. And some of the stocks, and also we earlier we predicted some stocks, and this is what on based on our monthly IV. So these are all the stocks from this list. We are finding an opportunity. So let me check this. Let me mark this first. Okay, so these are all the stocks which I just selecting for my opportunity. So from this list, REC and PFC, which is generating trigger, but I was just manually avoid this REC here in the REC, which is triggers, and Canara Bank also be there, that is trigger, and the Titan is not there in the list. Okay, but maybe it's a day one. We have some stocks like PFC, which is triggered, and any other thing, Power Grid would be there, and GAIL will be there, and this is what an Gale and Power Grid. So almost what we selected some stocks that we can expecting for a big momentum that can be happened in the stocks list. So that can be happened, but due to that huge premium, maybe can bank 13, but the lot size is big. So if you are looking at, and even normally SBI in which maybe around 30 to 40 rupees is our average entry point, but in this case today it is around 77. So it's a huge one, and that's mostly that expectation is high, and maybe tomorrow even more volatile we can expect. So such a kind of scenario, so we should simply avoid and wait for this, and maybe in next week the premium may be settled after the result. So after the result, the premium may be settled, and we can look for a weekly opportunity that may be a good one for next week trading. So because while volatile moment, sometimes if the volatility is over, maybe that would be over by tomorrow. But after getting the result, this is what an expectation. And tomorrow, if that real thing is happened, so you will be getting the clear idea whether, and also tomorrow that due to that result it will be up and down, and high volatility also be seen. Better intraday also I'm just looking for today. Mostly I think more than 120 stocks which triggered in the first candle. For example, if you are looking at Granules 420, but any if you are checking that first candle itself, it triggered that ABB 8300. First candle itself, the R4 level is broken. So maybe you can see the first candle, mostly that stocks which is opening greater than the R4 level. Okay. So better tomorrow, even high volatility is seen while announcing the result. So better to stay away and just looking at, but even what we've selected, that was happening very good. So these are all the stocks which I'm selecting for a monthly positional, and that was giving you some results, but paying a higher premium to get that minimum result is not a good one. So here I can see from this list this much of stocks which triggers our entry point. So from that list which you have selected, so almost 4 to 5 stocks which triggers, and even it gives you 10%, 15% something happened from that list, but it is an high premium, higher margin, so better to avoid. Maybe if you are looking for an our weekly positional strategy, we can start with from next week onwards. That would be a better idea. Or if you are looking for an intraday, so maybe tomorrow high volatility will see. Maybe Wednesday or Thursday you can look for an intraday sheet, but very low quantity, so not too high quantity, so better. So don't go for an higher side. Okay, minimum lot size, and the lot size would be very smaller. Then it would be a better for an option trading. And this much of stocks which given you the opportunity in intraday, but I can see almost 38, but before 9:30 we have seen more than 100 plus, 120 plus. That means that was triggered earlier, the first candle itself. So if you are looking at randomly maybe India Cement 205, 205 call option, if you are looking at in the first candle itself, it triggered. Okay, so but mostly the stock is opening over and about the R4 level today because of huge gap up. So near about 100, near about 200 point, sorry, near about 600 rupees, right? And you can see Nifty also started with a huge gap between the R4. And one thing, so if you are looking at it, the premium of Nifty, it doesn't give you such a good result, even a straddle, because of almost 400 foot plus 400. So here we seen there is an 800 point movement, only around 2200 points movement in the straddle premium also. Maybe tomorrow it may, if it is continuous, maybe 22,500 straddle premium will generate you more result, or if it is any negative, there is a premium decay will also be happen, because huge premium that should be settled with the intrinsic value. So you should calculate the intrinsic value. That would be very right thing to focus. Okay, that is what an update from my side, from my student who are finishing our advanced option strategy. But future option edge works very well, and that wasn't giving you such a good result. But even though huge premium, so for example, PFC that was increasing near about on daily time frame, you can see almost 62 points. So here in this 490, it's also be a put option. Put option is near about 21 points. It's gap down. Okay, so yesterday's closing is somewhere around 27. Now it is trading around 5 rupees. So huge premium drop because of the gap up. That maybe if you are using your FO strategies, then you can check how the system or how the stocks works. But the margin is high. Therefore, strategy that will maybe a good for a current scenario, higher the premium, and current ATM you can utilize it. So if you want to try, or else you stay away. And that's what an update. Thank you for watching. And if you are new to my channel, kindly subscribe the channel to get more update. Thank you.